Ward in Orlando with Bill Anderson. Bill, where are you? Way back behind me.
In the loft.
As our broadcast position here is on the goal line, and we're a little cramped, so Bill Anderson will be sitting behind, looking over my shoulder, literally.
I'm watching your every move, John. You better stay on it today.
What about these two teams?
Two good football teams. Ohio State's an outstanding. They're big, strong, good depth. I think they got three All-Americans on one team. That shows you how much depth they have. This is a good, solid team that's set almost, they've 16 or so individual and team records this group has broken this year. So great players. Eddie George, what a player he is. 1,826 yards, 23 touchdowns. He can flat carry the ball. They got great receiver in Terry Glenn. He scored 17 touchdowns. Hoying at quarterback, done an outstanding job, thrown for over 3,000 yards. John, Tennessee's going to have their work cut out for him. Peyton Manning, of course, he is sixth in the Heisman. He's got 2,954 yards with 22 TDs, so certainly he's had an outstanding year. Jay Graham, 12 TDs, and Joey Kent's an outstanding receiver for Tennessee. They're very much alike. I think, if anything, probably Ohio State has a little more strength and depth than Tennessee does.
This is the first time the two teams have met, though both are among college football's elite, having won more than 650 games. Not many schools, well, only 8 or 9 can claim that. We'll check the lineups for this Citrus Bowl game next. As we say, we'll have more in just 1 minute.
The kicking game could play a big part in.
The officials are from the Big 8 Conference, as that's the way it's done now in college bowl games. The SEC officials will be somewhere where no SEC team is involved. The referee is Steve Juszczyk. The umpire, Bob Holliday. Head linesman, Mark Hittner. Line judge, Paul Brown. Side judge, Paul Lowry. Back judge, David Ames. Field judge, Terry Porter. Well, Tennessee wins the toss, defers. Ohio State receives. Tennessee kicks off. That's logical. And will be defending the North goal. As the Volunteers in orange, Ohio State wearing white jerseys with crimson or scarlet numerals and gray football pants. Well, two great football schools. And Bill, to me it is surprising. 100 years of football, and Tennessee and Ohio State have not played before.
That really is, because certainly Ohio State has some great football programs and teams up there. It's it's good. This is what it's all about, though, John. This is a top level of college football, very best in the country. Two of the very best facing each other, and that's what makes this sport so much fun.
Tennessee will be kicking off, and that will be Jeff Hall who will do the booting or the kickoff for the Tennessee team. The crowd is here, near capacity. The only seats that I can see are not occupied. They're under the deck, out of the rain, because probably Orlando business has bought them. They're not here. Here's the kickoff taken at the 15-yard line by Ohio State, and he is blasted after moving from the 20 to the 25, close to the 30-yard line, as Sean Springs returns, and the tackle is made by Tennessee's Al Wilson, the freshman, and he made quite a tackle. And, Bill, we noticed that water was splattering as they came running upfield.
Yeah, and I noticed that kicking team was great coverage. That's usually a pretty good sign that the team's ready to play, John.
Well, let's spot the ball now at the Ohio State. Well, they haven't put the ball down because it's raining. They're going to put it down right at the 30-yard line on the left hash mark. And Ohio State moving from right to left as you listen. Coming out of the I formation, Big Eddie George is the tailback. And this will be back to throw on first down. Hoying, pass in the flat, pull down complete at the 30. And immediately somersaulted down is Nicky Sualua, as Leonard Little and Raymond Austin are there to cover for Tennessee. Defending for the Volunteers in the front four, Leonard Little, 6'3", 220. At one end, Steve White, 6'2", 246 at the other. The tackles will be for Tennessee, Shane Burke. Ohio State to the line, into the eye. Handoff, George. George is blasted and dropped and stopped short of the line of scrimmage. Penetrating Jesse Sanders from the left side, initially slowing down Eddie George before he gets to the line. And so upcoming will be third down and right at, well, we're going to say right at 9 yards to go. The defensive corner, the receiver, who will be Demetrius Stanley, and sliding inside of him will be Terry Glenn. Hoying, the quarterback, against a four-man Tennessee front. Hoying back to throw on third down. Throwing across the middle, the pass is complete at the 35-yard line. But immediately as the catch was made, Leonard Little and Jesse Sanders make the tackle on Terry Glenn short of the first down. And so it's going to be fourth down and right at 5 yards to go. And Bill Anderson, our press box location, really is right in the middle of the crowd, and it's a sort of a different perspective. People right around us cheering loudly.
Well, that's what it's all about, John. I mean, of course, good series there by the Tennessee defense. They really played that first series well, good, strong penetration in there and putting the pressure on the Ohio State offense.
Fourth down, Bartholomew is on to punt. Deep for Tennessee, Terry Fair. Snap, Tennessee's got the rush on. The punt is away. High, long spiral. Backing up, Fair is going to let the ball go over his head. Rolls down and will be into the end zone by 1 foot. Ohio State was clamoring and chasing. Fair saw that ball sail 65 yards. It came down at the 10-yard line and barely curls into the end zone.
Boy, looked for sure it was going to go out of bounds on about the 1 or 2 there. Tennessee was doubling the wide man out there covering. They did a good job of keeping him off of it, John, or he would have gotten to it to have been able to down it.
As it is, Tennessee will have it on the touchback at the 20-yard line. And so for the Volunteers, at quarterback will be Peyton Manning. The wide receivers will be Kent and Nash. And Tennessee is going to come with a tight end on the right side. And actually a wingback in the person of Scott Pfeiffer. I formation against a four-man Ohio State line. This is Jay Graham, tries the left side at the 20, 22, 23, diving forward to the 25-yard line. Pincus is there to make the tackle on Jay Graham, who on the year is averaging 5. Tennessee, nothing to score, 2nd and 5. This is Graham again, trying to get to the outside. Not much there. Then he turns inside and lunges to the 30 and a shade beyond. It's Ty Howard who makes the tackle on him, but Jay Graham, who was slowed really at about the 27-yard line, more or less just leaned to the left and dives forward, and that should be a first down as they mark the ball. It will be for Tennessee, first down and 10 to go.
Good start for Tennessee, John. I think they've got some good solid blocking up front there and been able to give Jay Graham not a big hole, but enough room to get in there and pick up some good yardage.
So it will be for Tennessee, first down and 10 at the 30-yard line. 0-0 the score. Ball near the right hash mark. As once again the ball's in the I formation, four-man front. This will be Manning faking the give, looking to throw, pass out into the flat, pull down at the 32, out to the 35, fighting forward to the 38-yard line is Scott Pfeiffer, the big 6'5", 245 junior tight end, who makes the catch and battles his way just short of a first down as they haul the ball in from the far side. The knee drag as a flanker comes Joey Kent. The Vols with a tight end left and running that way. Then Graham cuts back to the middle and is upended short. As right there was Kevin Johnson to make the stop on Jay Graham. Ohio State adjusts its defense. They're bringing people up tight on the line, anticipating the run. I don't think so. Manning rolling to the near side. Pass downfield is complete. Pulled down by Joey Kent, who makes the catch at the 40-yard line and is shoved back with a wicked lick by Sean Springs. And where they mark it will make the difference. The ball is on the place down. It is first down, Big Orange.
Yeah, he just barely got it too, John. I thought it might be a little bit short there for a minute because Spring really came up and gave him a lick. And you could see his foot was right on the 40-yard line, and he got a good mark on it, so it's a big first down.
At halftime, you'll be hearing from Mike Keith, as you already have, our general manager, Edwin Huster, our producer, Steve Early, our scoreboard producer, Dave Jeffries, technical director, Cleve Hayes, T. Edwards. Tennessee first down and 10, 0-0 the score. Ball on the 40-yard line in Tennessee territory. Manning hands the ball off, and this comes hurtling over the right side of the line. Jay Graham, who actually hurdles, as we said, over the right guard slot and digs it out close to the side of Kyler. Kent is into the boundary right. Single running back, that being Jay Graham. Ohio State creeps linebackers up, and Manning checks off at the line, calling a new play. Adjusting Tennessee as he rolls to the left, wants to throw, pass is incomplete, then almost intercepted on the deflection as the throw went wide to the left. Picked up 2 successive first downs after stopping Ohio State in its first possession. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Kent will be double covered. Graham, the tailback. Here the linebackers come on the blitz, and this is Manning rolling left to throw across the middle. Pass is complete, but short of the first down at the 48 to Kyler, who is immediately tackled by Sean Springs. And so it will be short of the first by, as we said, right at 3 yards, maybe closer to 2, but short nevertheless. Fourth down upcoming, so into the ball game will come Larry Binion, who is averaging 35.9 yards per punt. The first punt for Tennessee earlier, Ohio State got a 65-yard punt that barely curled into the end zone, giving Tennessee a touchback. Ohio State, 11 men to rush. They have blocked 4 field goal attempts, extra point attempts, and punts this year. Snap, rushes on, punt is away, a line drive punt that will skip at the 20, rolls back down, and is grabbed and then fumbled and then chased down and followed upon inside the 10-yard line by Stanley. It's a squirting football game, and that ball was a line drive, came down, squirted up. The receiver went after it. It ricocheted off him, and he chased it down to down it back 6 and 7 as they come to the line, deep in Ohio State territory. The score, 0-0. The Buckeyes with the ball. Give goes to George. George tries the right side. Not much there, as George is immediately decked by Tyrone Hines, who's in there as the middle linebacker. It's at the opposite end of the field, so we're going to be a little slow in spotting the ball. We're sitting on the goal line here on the north end. The ball is down at the south 9. Ohio State nothing, Tennessee nothing. The Volunteers bring a linebacker, Gallion, over to the right side, maybe anticipating a blitz on the pass. Back to throw Hoying. Here comes the blitz. They slip the pass upfield, and the defender slips. The catch is made at the 25-yard line by Glenn, and Glenn is knocked out of bounds as he moved up close to and Tennessee got no pressure. This is Ohio State. This will be running through the right side of the line, then upended comes Glenn as, George is over to make the tackle on him is Austin, as he started at right about the 30-yard line, as we mentioned. And he will get maybe a yard on the play as Tennessee is receivers left and right. Tennessee bringing linebackers tight. Eddie George gets the delay handoff, and he is slowed in the backfield, then breaks free and is spun down, I think, short of the line of scrimmage by Torrey Noel and Jesse Sanders. As we mentioned, Tennessee brought a lot of people up on the line of scrimmage and came with an all-out surge, and the stop was made with little of any pickup on the play. And really, it's difficult, Bill, for the backs, at least Ohio State's George thus far, to accelerate to make that first step.
Well, I think that's true, but in addition to that, Tennessee's getting good defensive penetration. They're getting into the backfield there and getting to him before he can get turned up the field.
Third down, 9, Ohio State, 0-0 to score. 2 receivers left, 1 right for the Buckeyes. Tennessee drops it, linebacker, back to throw. Here's the pass downfield. It is incomplete. It was intended for Buster Tillman, and Tennessee's Steve Johnson was there as the balls went with the nickel defensive secondary. The pass was high and long and goes incomplete, and it will be 4th down upcoming for the Buckeyes. Bartholomew comes on, and Fair drifts deep for Tennessee. And it ain't easy handling these punts, Bill.
No, it's not. It looks like that ball's a little slippery out there. They're having a little problem throwing it and catching it.
It continues to rain, but not as hard as it was earlier, for what it's worth. Back to punt will be Bartholomew. His first was good for 65. The second is away. Hits this one good. Fair chasing it to the far sideline. The ball skips at the 25. He jumps it down at the 20. Breaks a tackle. Comes to the near side as he twists and turns his way back up to the 24-yard line, at which point Tennessee will put the ball in play. First, Tennessee will have the ball first down and 10 to go. At the 24-yard line, scoreless game. Ohio State, coached by John Cooper, who grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee, played at Powell High School, always wanted to go to the University of Tennessee, was not offered a scholarship. We visited with John. He mentioned to me, Bill Anderson, that his first experience at football was going over the fence at Shields Watkins Field in those days to get in free to see Tennessee play football.
Well, I guess there's a lot of people who went over that fence, John.
My guess is that Dickey may try to collect. What do you think?
If he tells him about it, he probably will.
Total offense to this point, Tennessee 28 yards, Ohio State 28 yards. Ohio State, most of it came on a 21-yard pass from Hoying to Glenn. Back to action as Tennessee will hand the ball just short of the 25-yard line. We call it the 24. Coming with a single running back, a wing back to the left side, flankers left and right against a 4-man front. Manning back to throw on first down. Across the middle, pass complete. Yanked down at the 33-yard line by Joey Kent, who is then hauled out of bounds far across the way, about a yard shy of the first down by Antoine Winfield. It will be a gain of right at 9 yards, maybe closer to 8.5. And so Tennessee is going to be faced with a second down throwing Bill for the first time on first down.
Yeah, they came out. Of course, Ohio State's done a good job putting pressure on Manning in the first series or so there. They've lined up in the 4-man front basically at times They get 5 people up there. Linebacker's very tight and coming at him.
Short yardage situation. Tennessee jumps back into an I formation against the 4-man front. This is Graham. No, the fake. The pass is going to go deep downfield. Working for the ball is Kyler. Pass is going to be incomplete, as Kyler was the intended receiver. Stride for stride, the defender was 24 interceptions by Ohio State this year. Tennessee in a short yardage situation. Diving for the first down will be Jay Graham, and we'll wait and see. I think his catapult got him to the 35, which would be enough for the first down. Kevin Johnson, the linebacker, fills the gap and shoves him back, but it's going to be marked as first down, 10 to go for the Volunteers. The first down, 8.5 yard pass play sets up Tennessee for, in essence, a waste down to go on a post route downfield, and that pass was thrown all the way down in the vicinity of the 25-yard line of Ohio State. It was incomplete. Then Tennessee converts on third down. It's 1st and 10. Ball on the left hash mark heading to your right. Nothing to score. Tennessee first down, 10. Manning sets up a screen near side. Pulled down and immediately blasted is Peerless Price. Out 12, Tennessee, nothing to score. Ohio State into a 5-man front. The Volunteers send 2 receivers left. Tennessee on a draw. It goes to Graham. Graham is stumped for a looking pass upfield. Is going to be incomplete. It was intended for Joey Kent, who got his hands on the ball at the 50-yard line, but credits the defender, in this case Anthony Gwynn, with a wicked lick on Kent. Blocked. It is blocked by Ohio State. Tennessee chases it down and fights for the loose ball at the 24-yard line. It's McClellan who is in there, as Ohio State, you could feel it coming with that 14-yard drop, as we mentioned. They overpowered and cleanly blocked it with 2 or 3 people there. Second down, goal at the 1-yard line. George, left side, gets through one tackle, fights through another. Touchdown, Ohio State. Tennessee came after him well and had somebody with an angle back at the 4-yard line. Mulfat, who will be the kicker for Ohio State, as Tennessee drifts fair back to receive the kickoff. And here's the kick, a wobbly, squirting type end-over-end kick, and Fair's going to let the ball go through the end zone. That was a wise decision. And it will be Tennessee putting the ball in play at the 20. The Vols have had it 3 possessions at the 20, 24 now again at the 20-yard line. Trailing 7-0. Manning is checking off as Ohio State dances its defense left and right. Manning, delay, handoff, Graham, nothing. He fights maybe for a yard, but he was hit before he got in front. And that forces a change in the call. Manning has barked it out to his compatriots. Now they drift the linebackers back, and Manning rolls to the near side, out of the pocket, looking to throw. In trouble, looks, waits, dumps the pass, complete. Yanked down at the 25-yard line by Greg Kyler, and then he is blasted out of bounds. So it will be 4 seconds to go in the first period of the game. Tennessee in orange in the single back situation. Kent, man in motion, slowly from right to left, looking across the middle. Pass is complete. Tennessee breaking the ball. This is Peerless Price. Marcus Nash, who makes the catch at the 35. Nash to the 40. Nash to the 45. Nash to midfield, and almost broke it all the way. He was finally pulled down from the backside by Rob Kelly. Just a quick stand up and rip across the diagonal cut from the slot to the right. And it is Marcus Nash who pulls it down and dances downfield for a gain on the play to give Tennessee a first down and 10, and spot the ball at the Ohio State, right at near the 48-yard line. Good for 26 yards on the play, and it's a big momentum-changing first down for Tennessee. The Vols to the line on first down in Ohio State territory for the first time, trailing 7-0 in the first quarter. Manning, straight drop, waits, looks, dumps it out here to Graham, pulls it down behind the line of scrimmage, and he himself is pulled down behind the line of scrimmage by Ryan Miller. As the Vols come with a flare to the right side of the flat, it's Graham who pulls it down, but then he is nailed with excellent open field tackling by Ryan Miller, who had 88 stops on the year for this Ohio State team, which leads at the end of the first quarter. Down and 16, ball rests in Tennessee territory at about the 45-yard line. This will be Manning back to throw. Here's the pass, near side, dropped by Jay Graham, who had it momentarily at the 45-yard line, turned to look upfield, and he had Lehman out in front of him along with Nash, and also down lineman to rush. Manning straight drop. Here's the screen, near side, Peerless Price pulls it down, makes the catch at the 45, moves to the 50, and is tackled as he gets just barely into Ohio State territory by Matt Bornhouse. They've got, again, 10 men to rush. trying to pick a lane. Now they're going to drop off. And as the ball is snapped, you probably heard the whistle. Stopping play. Ohio State, after winning over... Fourth down, Tennessee, -5. That backs everybody up 5 yards, and Ohio State now goes with a 10-man rush. Snap. Now they've got the return on. High punt Binion. Chasing it down at the 15-yard line, Ohio State. Gets to the 20. Gets to the 25. Still on his feet near side. Is nailed from the backside. As sliding in to make the stop was George Kidd of Tennessee in the punt coverage. University of Tennessee. 7-0 is the score. This is John Ward with Bill Anderson sending you the play-by-play as Ohio State leading 7-0 goes back on offense, this time at the Buckeye 25-yard line. Tennessee has had 3 possessions to this point. Ohio State likewise. Ohio State blocked a punt, scored a touchdown. That's the difference. The Buckeyes into an I formation against a 4-man front. Back to throw, Hoying. Looking, waiting, across the middle, pass is complete. Yanked down upfield at the 40-yard line, then dashing to the near side and out of bounds is Terry Glenn. 57 catches, 1,316 yards on the season with 17 touchdowns. Raymond Austin comes across to make the tackle on him. But the catch is made and knocked out of bounds after a gain of right at 14 yards on the play. That's sufficient for the first down. 1st and 10, Ohio State lining up without a huddle, leading 7-0. Again, flankers left and right. Tennessee creeps a linebacker up on the left side. Hoying sees that, turns to adjust the call. As this is Hoying giving the ball off. Eddie George through the left side. Hole open. Somebody reached to trip him up as he lumbers forward for a gain of 4 yards. Tyrone Hines, I think it was, who got a hand slashing at the ankle. And George, before he popped it, was knocked down for a gain of about 4.
Tyrone Hines barely got him too, John. Tennessee came with a safety blitz, and there was a huge hole over there. If he'd got by Hines, he'd still be running.
Now 4 down linemen, wide splits, Hoying, handoff, first man through. This is Sualua, the fullback, who seldom carries the ball. That's only the 19th time this year, but he is able to grind it out, fighting past the 45, near the 46.5. Ohio State will line up in the I formation on 3rd down and 2. 3rd down to Ohio State. Tennessee blitzing. Hoying back to throw. A long pass downfield. It is going to be incomplete. Bumping and grinding going on downfield. No flags fly. Deron Jenkins stride for stride with Terry Glenn. And the pass is overthrown on 3rd down 2. They go for it all. Punting in the game, and Tennessee drifts back fair at the 10-yard line. The punt is away. Wobbly spiral, Fair chasing it down, backs it up, is going to catch the ball at the 3. Back to the 5. Stutter steps past one man to the 11, then to the 12-yard line. And so Tennessee will have the ball at the 12-yard line after Fair catches it inside the 5. He did catch it, and he did return a 51-yard punt, 10 yards. And Tennessee will have Levine has come on for Tennessee at tailback. As Ohio State adjusts, bringing a linebacker tight. Manning throws downfield. It is incomplete, intended to a widening Marcus Nash on a diagonal slant route. No, they're into the I formation this time with Ford in the lineup, and Manning checks off, and Ford moves 4 strides to the right. Manning rolls out that way, looking to throw. Pass upfield is complete. Pulled down by Marcus Nash, who makes the catch short of the 20-yard line, is then shoved back downfield by Antoine Winfield. And we'll wait until they haul it in from the far side to spot it. I'm sure it will be short of the first. At least I am virtually sure it will be short of the first down. But as they line it up, I don't think it is. First down, 10 to go. Tennessee, it's a long way away, Bill.
No question about that, but that's a big first down there to get them off their own goal line, John.
And Tennessee will have the ball as they haul it in. It's a first down by about a yard. And so the Volunteers will have it at the 23-yard line on the right hash mark. First down, 10 to go at the pass completion. Running through the right side, Jay Graham pops a tackle. This is Graham who has the ball. Graham has the ball to the 25. Graham to the 30. Graham to the 35. Graham to the 40. He is tackled at the 42-yard line by Rob Kelly. Blocking on the right side, Miller and Smith. And Graham broke a tackle at the line of scrimmage, then explodes upfield and rambles for another first down for the Big Orange.
He was able to get a crease in there. Ohio State's really been pressing, putting the pressure on, coming up with their linebackers tight. Their safeties are playing very tight on the receivers and playing up. If you can break that initial line of scrimmage, there's some pretty good running room.
19 yards for Graham on the first down run. Tennessee trailing 7-0 with the ball. As as this is Manning back to throw, and he is going to be sacked. As Manning comes off play action, faking the give to Graham, and virtually untouched from the right side. Graham back in at the tail of the tandem of the I formation. Manning sets up a screen pass pulled down by Graham behind the line of scrimmage. He breaks one tackle at the 35, moves out to the 40 and a shade beyond before Winfield comes from his left corner position to knock him out of bounds. 31-13. Third down play for Tennessee. 3rd and 11. Manning back to throw. Manning waiting. Flushed out of the pocket. Manning looking. Nobody there. Throws the ball away downfield. Incomplete. Great coverage in the secondary by Ohio State as Tennessee had people running trying to get free. But on Ohio State with the blitz. And Tennessee, as the snap is made, Ohio State jumps on the right side. Then Tennessee reacts, and probably the Volunteers will be called with an illegal procedure. Ohio State have blocked one punt in this game, setting up the touchdown. Snap. They've got the return on. Punt away by Binion. Hits it well. Backing up, corralling the ball over his shoulder, dropping the ball, struggling after the ball at the 10-yard line. This is Stanley. Breaks a tackle as he gets down to the 15. A penalty marker is down. There's the fumble as the ball squirts up to the 23-yard line, and they're juggling for a loose ball at that vicinity. So there's a penalty marker down. There's another one across the way. The fumble has been recovered by Ohio State, as Corey Gain is the man who popped the ball free at Orlando, Florida, in the Citrus Bowl. This is John Wood with Bill Anderson sending the action, as Ohio State will hand the ball first down and 10 at its 7-yard line, leading 7-0. They come up with a single running back, he being Eddie George. Flankers left and right, tight end to the left to block. Tennessee creeps a cornerback up on the left, as this will be George trying the left side. He powers forward from the 7 to the 9, maybe to the 10. Bill Duff at the now coming with a 5-man front. Strength to the wide side, to the left side of the Ohio State offense. Pass to the left side is incomplete. It was intended to Terry Glenn in the vicinity of the 14-yard line. Just a safe pass into the left flat. He juggled it. The ball, one lineman, 3 linebackers, 4 defensive backs. Running back split for Ohio State with Hoying. Straight drop back to throw. Across the middle pass is complete. Had to be the tight end. It was Ricky Dudley who makes the catch. He moves the ball up to the 25, onto the 30. Is nailed at that point. And Tennessee reacts with a 5-man front as Hoying checks off at the line, and a penalty marker flies from the near side, as perhaps there comes to the left side. Back to throw on first down, Hoying. They set up a screen. It is juggled and dropped by Eddie George. Tennessee goes chasing after the ball, thinking that it might have been a lateral, which it was not. But Eddie George unable to make a clean catch of the ball. He has made on the year 44 receptions coming into the game. That one was juggled and falls 5 men at the line of scrimmage on second down, and 15 yards to go. Hoying, straight drop, setting up the screen again. Pass out into the flat is incomplete. It was intended again to George. Tennessee came with pressure from Jesse Sanders. Actually, Sanders was out defending. The pressure for Tennessee came from Steve White on the left side as the Volunteers pulled everybody up there at its 26-yard line, leading 7-0 over Tennessee. Again, the running backs are split for the Buckeyes. There's the draw. Handoff goes to George, looking for running room, finds a little, enough for about 4 yards to the 30. Then Shane Burton, the senior, is there to make the tackle for the Volunteers. And Ohio State will be faced with 4th down upcoming. 7:20 to go, first half of the game. And Ohio State will look to Brent Bartholomew, the freshman from nearby Apopka, Florida. And he has boomed the punch thus far, 65, 50, 51. And Tennessee drifts fair deep. The Vols with 2 men to defend against the wideouts who go downfield to cover, and then other people to rush. Tennessee's got the return on a wobbly kick. Fair backs up, is going to let the ball skip, takes the skip, he picks the ball up, eludes 1 man at the 25 and works his way to the Tennessee 30-yard line, where the Volunteers will take it after Fair is bumped out of bounds. So Tennessee will have the ball, and we'll take a break, a New Year's Day break for your Vol Radio Network station by saying with timeout the score, Ohio State 7, Tennessee nothing. At its 30-yard line, giving you some idea of the way Ohio State has defended the Volunteers. Into an I formation. Jay Graham in at tailback. This is Graham cutting through the left side. penalty marker is down as he bangs from the 30 to the 33-yard line, and Bonhouse makes the tackle on him at that point.
Come up with a break yet in the ball game, but they'll get one here in a minute, maybe.
6:30 to go in the first half. Tennessee in an I formation. There's virtually a 7-man line for Ohio State. Tennessee opens up with a flip out into the flat, and the catch is made by Tennessee's Lane, who is hit. He is dropped. He fumbles the football, and it's been recovered by Ohio State. Ohio State recovers the fumble of Ford at the 25-yard line, and on top of the ball is Ty Howard. So the ball's reacting in an I formation. Tennessee 4-down lineman. There's the give to George. Left side popped it. This is George, who has the ball at the 25, down to the 20. Slants inside close to the 15-yard line before he is tackled by Torrey Noel and Steve White. As they bring the ball in, it appears to me to be a bit short. And again, we delay our marking of the ball because it's at the opposite end of the field from where we are sitting, in essence, at the goal line at the north end. And the ball is going to be, I think, about 1.5 yards short of the first down. Because George again, slanting through the right side, bangs inside the 15, fights down to the 13.5-yard line. Leonard Little there to make the time. It is outside the 10-yard line. The give again goes to Eddie George, and George this time comes slanting over right guard, starting at about the 12.5, and he bangs the ball inside the 10-yard line, down in the vicinity of the 7, where Shane Burton is there on the 6 to go for the first down, 8 to go for the touchdown, leading 7-0 over Tennessee. Into the I formation. Hoying. Again, it's George slicing up the middle, battles inside the 5-yard line, stretches it out close to a first down before Sanders and Austin team up on the tackle. Big Eddie George, 6'3", 230 senior, Heisman Trophy winner this year. Just short of a first down. A blessing in disguise for the Buckeyes, who will now have 2 downs for the first and possibly 6 downs for the score if that is needed. Ohio State 7, Tennessee nothing. 3rd down, 1 yard to go at the 3-yard line. Man in motion from right to left. They probably will run to the left side. They do, with George lowering his head, booming forward, grinding and churning and fighting his way. And it will be close as he burrows down inside the 3-yard line. Burton at the bottom of the heap for Tennessee as they unstack the Volunteers. But Ohio State crunching it out after forcing a fumble, making the recovery. Turnover, well, number 1, but really earlier, a blocked punt set up the touchdown, which gives Ohio State a 7-0 lead. Trying to add to it, a measurement is required at this point. The chains being hauled in from the far sideline with 3:40 to go in the first half of the game. The Buckeyes 7, the Big Orange nothing. Chains stretched, and it is not a first down. It is not a first down. 4th down and 3 inches, Bill Anderson.
It's a big play, big decision, I guess, for him here, but most likely I think Ohio State's probably going to go. If you can't make 3 inches behind that offensive line there, you're going to be hurting.
That will be the 14th carry, 51 yards for Eddie George. And so here it is. Ohio State could go for the field goal, leading 7-0. No, thank you, sir. We'll try to pound it home. With Eddie George, the Heisman Trophy winner, who has scored 23 touchdowns coming into this game, has a score already in this one. 303 carries, 1,826 yards, averaging 6 per try, needing less than 6 inches for the first. The crowd alive, standing to cheer. It will be 4th down. Ohio State going for the first down. Movement. There's a man in motion from left to right. Here's the give to George. I don't know, sir. I do not know. Tennessee pounds him at the line, and it was Bill Duff at the bottom of the heap. He did not make it.
Great stand, John. I tell you what, that's a good job. They got penetration in there and hit him maybe a yard loss or so.
Tennessee stops Eddie George on 4th down and 3 inches to go. They nail him. And now Tennessee stops Ohio State, but the Volunteers are backed up deep in Tennessee territory at the 3-yard line. Ohio State with the recovered fumble. It's George first for 8, for 4, for 5, for 4, for nothing, for in essence -1. And so Tennessee has the ball. This is Manning. giving off. Tailback to the outside. Graham tries to get to the corner, does. Stiff arms a man, turns the corner, battles his way to the 5 and battles out to the 7-yard line. Rob Kelly makes the tackle, but slashing Jay Graham was hit 4 different times before he drives forward for a gain of right at 5 or more yards.
Not much running room in there, John. Of course, he kept just breaking one tackle after the other, doing all that on his own, and picked up the yardage that he was able to get there, about 4 or 5.
Second down upcoming for Tennessee, breaking the huddle deep in Tennessee territory with 2:52 to go. The Volunteers into the I formation again. Man in motion for Tennessee from left to right. Graham following behind that. Drives forward. He's going to be nailed short of the 10-yard line. Tennessee needing right at third down for Tennessee, trailing 7-0. Manning back to throw at his end zone. Manning steps forward and is dumped. Sacked at the 4-yard line as Ohio State overpowers with Matt Finkus. 6-2-2. Stanley to receive the punt. Ohio State looking for the lane. The snap. The punt away by Binion. Coming upfield is corralled at the 42-yard line. This will be Stanley, who is bang down as he moves to the 36 by Jesse Sanders. Ohio State with 1:42 to go will hand the ball first down and 10 to go at about the 37-yard line, as we mentioned it for you. 40 yards on the punt out of the end zone, 5 yards on the return. Good effort by Larry Binion.
Good coverage, too. He got the ball. Of course, he got it.
Tennessee creeps a linebacker up on the left. Back to throw, looking, waiting. This will be Hoying. Pass down and out is going to be incomplete. He threw it away. Intending it, I guess, for Eddie George. He was not within 10 yards of the ball. But once more, 6-7 to the right. Back to throw, Hoying. Sacked at the 45-yard line. Shane Burton, who on the year had 7 sacks, has the sack here as he's nailed back at about the 45-yard line.
That one could not have come at a better time either. Boy, that was big hits there.
So Hoying is dumped, and it will be third down and right at 17 yards to go for the Buckeyes, with now 69 seconds to go in the first half of the game. Ohio State now adjusts its alignment, sending 2 wideouts to the right this time with a slot set. Hoying looking out this way. Back to throw, Hoying. Here's the screen pass. It is dropped, intended for a widening Eddie George, but he heard footsteps of Leonard Little pursuing him, and so the ball goes incomplete. And with 50 seconds to go, Ohio State will insert the punting unit. Tennessee this year opened the season winning over East Carolina 27-7. Then it was Georgia 30-27, a loss at Florida 62-37, and then wins over Mississippi State, Oklahoma State, Arkansas, Alabama, South Carolina, Southern Mississippi, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt, coming into this game 10-1. Bartholomew to punt. The rain continues at Orlando. Wet ball, wet field, wet hands, deep fair for Tennessee. Standing at his 10-yard line. Snap, punt away by Bartholomew, hits it well. Fair asks for a fair catch, but then the ball goes skipping downfield into the end zone for the touchback. So Tennessee will hit seesaws, and to this point, the key play, a blocked punt.
Well, a blocked punt, yeah, that gave Ohio State their score. Tennessee certainly dodged a bullet on that great field end zone stand down there, and the big sack knocked them back, and they're still very much in this ballgame.
Ohio State leading 7-0. Tennessee to the line at the 20-yard line after the punt. Jay Graham is the tailback in the I formation. This is Graham trying the middle, pops momentarily, breaks a tackle. He has the ball at the 25. He fights to the 30. He's upended as he gets to the 31-yard line by Anthony Gwynn. Graham was slowed at the 25, breaks that tackle, and carries the ball up to the 31.5, and Tennessee is going to consume a timeout right here, as the Volunteers will have it 4 down linemen. The draw goes to Graham, pops it up the middle. This is Graham lumbering forward, breaks a 3. This is Graham to the 45, to the 50, to the 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Tennessee! Jay Graham lumbers 69 yards. He wasn't lumbering. He was racing, and Tennessee pops it with less than a minute to go. The Volunteers with a goal line stand, stopping Ohio State. Coming back the other way, Jay Graham through the left side of the line, pops it open, breaks the tackle, turns it on, accelerates, and races downfield. And it is Jay Graham who has given Tennessee a chance to tie at the end of the first half with 23 seconds to go. Into the game will be Ingram, Price, and Jeff Hall to attempt the extra point. Ohio State 7, Tennessee 6. Hall kicking toward your left. Snap down. Kick up. Did he make it? He made it! The score is tied 7-7. Jay Graham.
What a big play, John. I think Ohio State was expecting the pass. They came in there, caught him on the draw. They popped it first. A wave of defenders there, and after that it was just outrun everybody. Great play.
Jay Graham for Tennessee, who on the year had 12 touchdowns rushing, ties this game. And the touchdown run, we probably should say runs by Graham. The Volunteers had the ball at the Tennessee 20-yard line. It was Graham on first down going for 11 and a shade. And then it's Graham going 69 yards on a draw. So Graham, Bill, in 12 carries in the first half, 118 yards.
Yeah, that was a great run. That was a good call, too, John. I think Jay Graham, we said, they've been playing it awful tight up there, trying to come with the pressure and that sort of thing. They were expecting the pass, had everybody up there pretty tight, and then pop. He hit that middle, and he was gone.
He was being chased down the near sideline by Ty Howard, but then Graham simply outran him.
He's got more speed than you think he has when you're looking at him. He can turn it on.
The score is tied at 7-7, and Tennessee will be kicking off. What a 3 minutes this has been. On defense, stopping Ohio State inside the 3-yard line. On offense, as the kick comes downfield, Ohio State's going to let the ball trickle out of bounds at the 4-yard line. And so, on the kickoff, which was not a bad one by Hall, but Ohio State elected to let the ball curl, as we said, and it barely makes it out of bounds at the 4, meaning that Ohio State will have the ball first down and 10 to go at the 35-yard line. So here's what's happened. Ohio State blocked a Tennessee punt at the 24-yard line. They had possession. 3 plays later, Eddie George scores as he bangs into the end zone. It was 7-0. Then as Ohio State recovered a Tennessee fumble, the Buckeyes had the ball 4th down and inches at the Tennessee 3, and the Volunteer defense stopped them. The Vols punted. Ohio State punts back, and now Tennessee breaks it with the 69-yard touchdown scamper by Jay Graham. It's tied 7-7. Ohio State back to throw Hoying. He's in deep trouble. Slides to the near side. Pass is almost intercepted by Tennessee 3 times. The Volunteers had an up man tipping the ball. It was deflected. Another man dived after it, that being Austin, and it was Gallion who tipped it. Then Austin dived. He almost had the interception as he tipped it, and another Volunteer almost had it as well.
What a big
it all
play.
adds up. Incomplete.
Incomplete.
15 seconds to go with the score tied 7-7. And Ohio State going for the pass into the near flat, almost saw it intercepted, but not to be. So here comes Hoying. Tennessee was getting pressure on him as well that time. They split the running backs. Both Pearson and George, the tailbacks, in the game for Ohio State. And this will be George on a draw through the left side. Pops to the right side, breaks one tackle, gets the ball to the 35, to the 40. Up to the 45, is finally tackled as he ranges past midfield or close to it. 1. Ohio State first down 10. Hoying back, waiting, looking. Long pass downfield is up for grabs, and it is grabbed by Tennessee on the interception. Stepping out of bounds after making the interception is Raymond Austin. And now the scoreboard says, indeed, there is no time left. Ohio State scores first as they block a punt and move it 24 yards to lead 7-0. Tennessee scores last, 69 yards on a run by Jay Graham, and the Volunteers and Ohio State go in at halftime of the 1996 Citrus Bowl tied at 7-7. The Ohio State band is spelling out Ohio State at halftime. We'll be on the air on Wednesday. Back to basketball as Tennessee opens the Southeastern Conference season against Auburn. We'll have the broadcast from Knoxville. Tennessee and Auburn in basketball, 7 o'clock on Wednesday night. It's halftime here in the
2 carries for 3 yards, wrapping up Ohio State's rushing attempt, 19 for 65. Bobby Hoying, 5 of 14 with an interception, 61 yards. In fairness to Hoying, he had at least 4 passes dropped. Receiving, Terry Glenn, the leader, 3 catches for 39 yards. For Tennessee, Peyton Manning has been sacked twice for a -12. Jay Graham, 13 carries, 117 yards, including the 69-yard touchdown. Manning through the air, 12 of 18, 71 yards. Receiving, Kent, Nash, Graham, Price, Kyler, all with 2. Pfeiffer and Lane have each caught a pass. Punting for the Buckeyes, Bartholomew, 5 for an average of 51.4. Benyon for Tennessee has averaged 44.8 on the kicks he's gotten off, but he did have 1 blocked, and that set up the Ohio State touchdown. So that pretty much sums up what's happened in the first half. Tennessee 7, Ohio State 7. Checking some other scores for you. Second quarter of the Cotton Bowl. It's Colorado 7, Oregon 6. In the Outback Bowl, late fourth period, Penn State 43, Auburn 14. Early third period,
Ohio State get ready for the second half of the football game. We mentioned the fact that Tennessee returns to basketball action on Wednesday, and we'll have the broadcast as here come the Volunteers racing on to the field down to your right, and then at the opposite end, also from the south end zone, entrance will come Ohio State. Tennessee won the opening toss and deferred, which means obviously Tennessee has the choice here as the second half gets underway. Ohio State, great football tradition. Certainly the names are familiar. Francis Smith was the coach back when Jim McDonald, who was later a Tennessee head football coach, played and was an All-America at Ohio State as a quarterback. Paul Brown, Carol Wedos, Paul Bixler, Wesley Fessler, Woody Hayes, the head coach at Ohio State from 1951 to 78. The winningest coach at Columbus, 205 wins. His all-time college coaching record, 238. 1983, Tennessee. When it became the Comp USA Citrus Bowl in 1994, the first team to play in it, Tennessee, losing to Penn State. Kickoff coming downfield. Tennessee gets the football and returning it upfield. This will be Terry Fair, who gets the ball at the 10, to the 15, to the 20, breaks a tackle, moving past the 25, out close to the 30-yard line. Excellent return by Terry Fair. It's good for 28 yards actually on the return, and spotted at the 31-yard line. First down 10 for Tennessee. In a tie game, 7-7. If the game ends in a tie, there will be a playoff. All bowl games will be decided by playoffs this year. Tennessee lining it up with Jay Graham, who scored the touchdown in the waning seconds at tailback. Manning, pass complete, yanked down at the 35, then struggling out of bounds is Joey Kent after a gain of right at 4 yards on the play. The tackle was made by Winfield on Joey Kent. For Tennessee, it will be Lehman, Peterson, Smith, Miller, Teague. The wide receivers, Kent, Nash is in there with Kyler. The running back, Graham. The tight end is there in the person of Pfeiffer. No fullback at the moment. Peyton Manning has gone all the way at quarterback. Tennessee again lines it up. Second down, 6 yards to go, just short of the 35-yard line. Game tied at 7. Ohio State in a 4-man front. Single running back is Graham. Play action pass is yanked down and then sliding to make the catch for little if any yardage. Well, a gain of about 3 on the play was Greg Kyler. Made a nice mistake coming with the blitz. Manning picks it up, but then pressure forces him to throw the pass quickly. It is incomplete, but a penalty marker has been dropped at the point of the collision between tight end Scott Pfeiffer and the linebacker Belisari. So the officials will discuss the call. It happened right in front of the Tennessee bench, which is on the west side, and logically Ohio State is on the east. The discussion ensues with the score tied 7-7. The Big 8 officials are discussing the play, and leaning in trying to listen will be Tennessee's Peyton Manning. And here's the information from the referee.
Disregard the flag. Uncatchable pass.
There's the ruling. The pass thrown by Manning, which indeed was uncatchable, Bill, I thought.
Well, probably was, yeah. Of course, obviously, he got hit pretty good before the ball got there, but probably was the correct call.
So Binion on 4th down is coming on to punt as the blitz from Ohio State forced Manning to release the ball too quickly, and it goes incomplete, though there was a collision. So Binion will punt. He has had one punt blocked in this game, and that set up Ohio State's touchdown. Ohio State has 10 men to rush once more. High snap. There's the pressure. The punt barely away. A wiggly spiral. Asking for and making a fair catch as the penalty marker has been dropped after the punt by Binion was made, and he is limping noticeably to the near sideline. They go after the block. Apparently did not touch it because the indication is it was roughing the punter against Ohio State. They come after the punter. Well, they come after the punt. They get the punter. And here's the call.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. 15-yard penalty. First down.
But the question also, Bill Anderson, is Binion, who is limping on the near side. And Tennessee, of course, has backup punters on the trip. But Binion got the punt away barely.
Yeah, he barely got it out of there. That's a pretty good rush that time. But he looked like he was limping with his left leg, John, and not that badly. Maybe I think he'll probably be all right.
Tennessee with the ball, 1st down and 10 to go. Spot the ball at the Ohio State 48-yard line. Jay Graham, the tailback. They creep the cornerbacks up on the left side as Manning fakes to throw. Looks, waits, going deep downfield, racing after the football. Joey Kent makes the catch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown, Tennessee! No flags. Give him 6. The Volunteers explode through the air with a pass from Manning to a center-stepping Joey Kent, who came back to make the catch. It's 47 yards, and it's 6.
That was a great play, John. Of course, that ball was hung up there short. Really, Kent had to come back. He was covered very well down there by Winfield. With as a result of the ball, Kent made the play on the ball, came back and got it, and then took it into the end zone.
Tennessee leads by a score of 13-7. Here will be Jeff Hall to attempt the extra point. Snap, down, kick, splits them. Let's take a break for the Ball Radio Network stations with 13:22 to go in the 3rd quarter of the game. The score, Tennessee 14, Ohio State 7. One play later, the Volunteers through the air go. Manning to Kent. Kent, who on the year for Tennessee had a total of 9 touchdown receptions. His first here in the Citrus Bowl. Tennessee, 4 plays, 69 yards, 138, leading 14-7. Kickoff by Hall. Corralled at the 11. With the ball, Pearson. 15, 20. Crushed at the 20-yard line. As Tennessee is there to pop the first man, Eric Lane. And so Ohio State trying to get back under control with the ball spotted at the 21-yard line. 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Ball Network.
The flagship station
from left to right, from north to south, trailing 14-7. Hoying has his team up. Tennessee has a 5-man, 7-man lineup there. Give goes to Eddie George to the left side, and he is swarmed and dropped after moving from the 21 to the 23-yard line. Torrio Noel was the first man, and then Jesse Sanders slides over to help. As Tennessee, Bill Anderson continues to jump around defensively, showing different looks.
Yeah, they're giving them some problems. They jumped everybody up there. They were coming with the blitz, but of course Ohio State had the running game on with Eddie George going off tackle. Good reaction over there. There was a pretty good sized hole open, but they closed it down pretty quickly.
2nd down, 8 for Ohio State. The ball resting at the Buckeye 23. Again, Tennessee creeps a linebacker up into a 5-man front. Hoying back to throw. Hoying waiting. Hoying throwing across the middle. It is incomplete. Intended for a slanting Buster Tillman in the vicinity of the 35-yard line. Ron Green was the man who came rushing in. Pearson to the left. Hoying, seeing Tennessee's linebackers creeping. Here comes the blitz. Hoying throwing the ball upfield. It is complete. Great catch made up here by Terry Glenn, closing quickly to make the tackle to Ron Jenkins. Tennessee came for the Buckeyes at the 41-yard line of Ohio State. They send a flanker left. They put a fullback as a wing back to the left. Pepe Pearson is in there at tailback. Man in motion back to the near side. Dancing back and forth, trying to confuse Tennessee offensively. Pass upfield is going to be incomplete, intended for a diving Buster Tillman right in front of the Tennessee bench along the near sideline. But it's ruled incomplete, and it will be second down and 10 yards to go. And Ohio State trailing 14-7 with the ball. And this will be the give going to Pearson, coming to the near side, and Pearson is knocked down after rolling for about 2 yards, but a penalty marker is down at the point of the tackle as Deron Jenkins was there covering. 14-7 Tennessee leading. Tennessee played the run well. Back to the near side. It's going to be a face mask violation against the Volunteers. Making the tackle on against a 4-man, now 5-man Tennessee front. Hoying back to throw. Setting up, looking. Pass downfield is going to be complete on a diving catch by Terry Glenn, who dives to make the catch in the vicinity of the Tennessee 45-yard line. State as the ball's at the Tennessee 44-yard line. Back to throw off play action. Downfield, the pass is going to be incomplete, say two converging officials, as it was a low pass for a diving Glenn who tried to underhand catch the ball right off the turf. Not to be. Deron Jenkins was there defending. But Ohio State looks for Bill almost every time Terry Glenn, and why not?
Yeah, he's a sure-handed receiver and has all the tools, and he's a good, outstanding player. He's been able to get himself open pretty regularly.
So it will be second down and 10 for Ohio State, beginning this drive after receiving the kickoff following Tennessee's touchdown. It's 14-7, Tennessee leads. Eddie George, the tailback in the I formation. The pitch will go to George, coming to the near side, and he comes lunging through over right tackle, starting there at the 44 and fights it down to the 40-yard line for a gain of 4. Ron Green at 6'1", 265. The freshman makes the tackle at that point and eventually scored the touchdown on the run by Jay Graham to tie it at halftime 7-7. Ohio State with Hoying. Short drop. Pass incomplete, thrown behind Terry Glenn. He was open, as giving him about a 4-yard cushion was Jenkins, but the pass by Hoying rushed off that short drop, goes incomplete.
In the short drop, they had the 3 linebackers standing in there. Not a good play for that defense, John. You would have thought he would audible if that was the play it was called.
It's fourth down. Into the game comes Bartholomew. Deep for Tennessee, Terry Fair, 5'11", 175-pound sophomore, who is standing in the vicinity of his 10-yard line. The Volunteers lead 14-7 with 10:17 to go in the third quarter. Ready for the snap. High one. The punt is away. Spiraling downfield. It's going to kick at the 5 and will be down at the 2-yard line by Ohio State. Coming with 2 tight ends in this set. I formation, Jay Graham is the tailback. Fullback is Chester Ford. Ohio State, 4-man front, linebackers up very, very tight. This is Jay Graham popping through the left. This is Graham to the 5, Graham to the 8, Graham to the 10. Knocked down as he gets out there by Anthony Gwynn. Good blocking, had to be Smith, and on the left side, Peterson. As Graham fights out to the 10-yard line, a big 7-yard surge.
Yeah, that was good. Opened a nice hole in there. As tight as Ohio State was playing, as many people they had up there on the line of scrimmage, the offensive line opened a big hole.
So for Tennessee, it'll be second down, a short 3 to go. As there's jumping around and the flags fly with Ohio State jumping into a 6-man front. Tennessee's left side might have reacted by moving before the ball. As it is, it will be second down and 7 for Tennessee. Graham, left side, not much there as he is popped right as he gets to the line of scrimmage by Kevin Johnson, filling the gap. Again with the blitz, not so. Handoff goes to Graham. Graham on a draw, pops to the left side and carries the ball to the 8 or 9, short of the first. The 10-man rush from Ohio State. Snap, Binion, return is on, punt away, high spiral, beautiful punt, all the way back to the 42-yard line of Ohio State. Picked up here by Stanley, and Stanley returns the ball to the 45, up to the 50, and he is nailed as he gets the ball to the 49-yard line. Great punt by Larry Binion.
10-yard penalty. First down.
So the penalty is tacked on to the reception by Ohio State. And the step-off will move the ball back down as they will spot it inside the 30 at the 28. Great punt, Bill, by Binion.
Question about that. I never did see what happened.
Here, Heisman Trophy winner. Tennessee creeps into a 5-man front with strength to the short side left. Back to throw. This is Hoying. Dumps the pass out into the flat. Pulled down by Eddie George. Breaks one tackle. Breaks another as he moves to the 28, up to the 30, and forward to about the 33-yard line. Scott, same 5-man front. Hoying sizing it up out of the I formation. Long count by Hoying. Back again. Straight looking to throw across the middle. Pass is pulled down by the tight end Dudley, who breaks a tackle. This is Dudley to the 35, to the 40, to the 45, up to the midfield stripe. Finally nailed by Terry Fair. Ricky Dudley right at midfield. Tennessee stays in a 4-man front as Hoying gives the ball, fakes it, back to throw. This is Hoying being pursued, in deep trouble, sacked. He is dumped by Bill Duff at the about the 47-yard line of Ohio State. A loss of 3. He stepped up in the pocket after making a pump, and then Duff stayed right with him as Tennessee was getting pressure also from Billy Barron on the other side. That will make it 2nd down and 13 yards to go for the Buckeyes, who trail in the game 14-7 with 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. The Citrus Bowl, Orlando, Florida. It rained much of the day. Right now, no rain. Ohio State splitting the running backs, George and Pearson. Quarterback Hoying looking over a 4-man front. Straight drop with time. Waiting, looking, without time. Sacked. Tennessee overpowering with Leonard Little and Steve White converging from the ends. It looked to me he had time, but the secondary took away the receivers, and here come the bookends.
That's right, John, and I tell you what, the defensive secondary is doing a good job back there keeping covering people. He had all kinds of time then to throw the ball, but he just couldn't find anybody open.
So it's a loss on this play of, well, it's back to 3rd and 18. So minus right at 5 yards on that one, between 4 and 5. Anyway, 3rd down and 18 to go for Ohio State, trailing 14-7. The ball rests in the vicinity of the 42-43-yard line. Hoying again, splitting his running backs. George to the other side could be the target. Back to throw, pass across the middle is complete. Yanked down, tackle broken, still on his feet, spinning forward, carries the ball down to the 45-yard line of Tennessee and is twisted down at the 43.5. The receiver was Ricky Dudley again. A load to be sure, but Torrey Noel at 6 feet, 182, jumped on his back and rides him down, short of the 1st down. With 4:40, hoping to nail Tennessee deep again. Punt by Bartholomew, a low one. Backing up, it skips downfield, it's twirling, and it will be downed again at the 2-yard line. Or will they rule? No. He had the ball at the 2, then he slides into the end zone. Let's wait and make sure. It's the signal given, I think, will rule that it was a touchback. Another good luck piece for Tennessee.
No question about it. That ball would have stopped. Had he not jumped on it, that ball was dead on about the 1 or 2 yard line. Tennessee elected not to handle it. I think they handled one early in the ball game, John, inside the 10 when he probably...
Why did he do that? Is what Coach John Cooper is saying, as Tennessee, the beneficiary of a Ohio State player who took a dead ball and slides it into the end zone, giving Tennessee a touchback. And so the Volunteers have it 1st down and 10 to go at the 20-yard line. Lining up in the I formation, Peyton Manning is the quarterback against a 5-man Ohio State front. Back to throw, pass goes deep for Joey Kent, complete. Great leaping catch under double coverage as he makes the catch at the 35 and slides to the 39. Tackled there by the double coverage of Winfield and Gwynn, but it's Manning on target going over one, in between, sandwiched. He carries the ball, and it will be 1st down. To that play, Tennessee total offense 66, Ohio State 62 in the 2nd half of the game. But the Volunteers pick up on that play a total of 19 yards. And Tennessee leading 14-7 has the ball 1st down and 10 to go and spots the ball at about the 39-yard line. Against a 5-man front, Manning checks off the change in the defense. Initiates that change as the give will go to Jay Graham. Tries the right side, nothing doing, as the penetration from Matt Finkus dumps him for a loss. And 12, leading 14-7. Manning, straight drop, setting up a screen. Deep he goes. Looking. Here's the pass. It is incomplete. Intentional grounding? No, says the official. It was intended for Jay Graham. And so Tennessee will have it 3rd down and 12. Manning took an 19-yard drop waiting for the screen to be set up. He had the offensive lineman there, but Graham just did not get free, I guess.
Well, no.
Will be the sole running back behind Manning, who has 2 wides right, 2 left, 4-man front, and now the change to the defense as Manning brings the slot man on the right up to a virtual wingback position. Back to throw is Manning. Pass across the middle is incomplete, intended for Nash, who had it for an instant. Then he was propped to the backside at the 40-yard line of Ohio State by Rob Kelly. The pass was owned by Ohio State. They have blocked 1 punt. Snap, they've got the return on. The punt away. Again, Binion hits it. It's going to come downfield to the 25-yard line. Yanked down by Stanley, who is then nailed as he moves the ball just beyond the 30 to about the 32-yard line, as Tennessee had good pursuit downfield, led by Anthony Hampton at 6'5", 210, a sophomore. Punt, 38. Return, 7. Ohio State will have the ball, trailing 14-7. 1st down and 10 to go. Ohio State on offense. 1st down and 10 to go. Single running back is Eddie George. Flankers left and right, tight ends as well in the football game for Ohio State against a 4-man front. The give will be to George. Gets a hole through the right side. George then tries to cut back. As he slides past the 35-yard line, he slips and falls to the turf at about the 39. Pinned as he gets there by the ball in the 3rd quarter. Tennessee stays with a 4-man front. Ohio State gives the ball to Eddie George, and he lunges forward and crashes past the 40 to the 42. It will be close, but maybe a bit short for the 1st down, as Craig King on 3rd down and inches, about 12 to be exact. They now come into an I formation. George aligned behind Sualua, the fullback. Tennessee into a 6-man front, creeping the linebackers very tight. Hoying will sneak, and I think he probably was able to get what amounted to about a foot. Hoying, who was riding right on the hip of LaShawn Daniels on the right side, tried to get the 1st down. They stretch it this time, and it is... Tell me, sir. I don't think he made it. I do not think he made it. The official says he did not make it. It's about 2 inches. About 2 inches. 2 links in the chain is the way it looks to me. Ohio State trailing 14-7. The ball rests at the Ohio State 43-yard line. They need the 43 and 2 inches. And so Ohio State is going to go for it. With 1:37 in the 3rd, Ohio State is going for the 1st down. It's 4th down and inches. Bare inches, maybe just 1 or 2. The Tennessee defense digging in. The Ohio State team coming to the line. In Ohio State territory at the 43. Quarterback is Hoying. Sneaks again. I don't know. He stopped, but maybe he was just able to move the ball, and the spot obviously will be the key. 14-7 the score, Tennessee leading. Ohio State in its own territory, 4th down and inches. Bill going for it.
Well, that's a real gamble. You got a quarter of football left to play in, but I believe they did get it that time.
23-yard line of the Buckeyes. Into the I formation. Here comes Ohio State looking for a big play. Hoying sizing up Tennessee's 5-man front. The Volunteers feigning the blitz. Here it comes as Hoying is back to throw. Hoying waiting. Hoying throwing down and out. The pass is going to be... You caught that ball out of bounds, sir, or will it be ruled as complete? They're going to rule that he dragged the feet. A great catch across the way by Terry Glenn, who went into the 1st down Ohio State. Big play. Hoying to Glenn. Now Hoying lines his team up again. The ball rests at the Tennessee 40-yard line. 14-7 Tennessee leading. Back to throw Hoying. Pass down and out, completed to 35. With the football, this will be Buster Tillman. And then Tillman tries to make a move, and as he does, he is nailed by Leonard Little, trailing for Tennessee at about the 35-yard line. They hold 6. Ohio State. Handoff goes to George. George gets to the corner, turns the corner, and then will be knocked out of bounds as he moves for 1st down yardage inside Tennessee's 30 to the 28.5. Torrey Noel and Terry Fair chase him down, but he goes out of bounds to stop the clock with 10 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter of a game which finds Tennessee on top 14-7. So rush. Hoying at quarterback. Handoff, George, here's the reverse. Coming the other way, Tennessee smells it. He is thrown for a loss at the 31-yard line. As Jesse Sanders was in perfect position for Terry Glenn running the reverse on the give from George, and he is dumped for a loss of about 3 yards as the third quarter is now history. A break for our stations after 3 by telling you the score remains. Tennessee 14, Ohio State 7.
Your business enters a race every day.
Territory. Tennessee creeps a linebacker up on the right side, feigning the blitz. Here it comes, going back against the blitz, throwing the ball deep downfield. It is incomplete, overthrown. Intended for Terry Glenn, who was well defended by Deron Jenkins. But Tennessee again, Bill, dancing around defensively. Here comes the safety blitz, and the pass was very, very long, and I'm sure Hoying saw the blitz coming.
He saw the blitz coming without any question. However, they did a good job picking it up. They picked the safety blitz up, gave him time, but he looked like he rushed that thing, and maybe the receiver out there certainly didn't go where the ball was, so there might have been a little confusion on the route.
Third down, 13.5 yards to go for Ohio State as the Buckeyes trail 14-7. They hand the ball at the Tennessee 32-yard line. Running back is George. Man in motion from left to right will be Stanley. Back to throw. This is a pass across the middle, complete. Pulled down here by the tight end Dudley, who makes the catch at the 15. Down to the 10, down to the 5. Touchdown, Ohio State. They go to Dudley, who on the year had 6 touchdowns, and a pass right on target to the 6'7" senior, who races into the procedure for you in a moment, as Ohio State will kick off. Still eons to go. 14:48 left in the contest. Here's the kickoff. It will be Fair camping at the 3. Fair to the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Stays on his feet and dives out to the 28-yard line, staggering forward, trying to regain the equilibrium, which, had he been able to do so, would have resulted in many, many more yards.
Yeah, he had a lot of...
1 and 5. As the give goes to the fullback and cracking the middle and driving forward, Chester Ford, the junior, pounds past the 35 out to the 37.5, about maybe a half yard shy of the first down. Pincus is there on the tackle. Clock down inside 14:30. For Tennessee, Lehman, Rideau, Peterson, Teague, Miller, and Smith. As Tennessee is going with an extra offensive lineman, we'll see if they unbalance it as they come to the line. Obviously will be. And Tennessee has the power into the boundary right with those 4 offensive linemen. I formation. Ohio State 4-man front. Graham runs to the right side, cuts back to the middle, and lowers his head and rams it forward to just short of the 40-yard line, which will be enough for the first down and 10 to go. Balisari and Miller make the tackle on him at that point. 14-14 the score. And Tennessee substituting a wide receiver, Kent, for the fullback, Ford. As the clock is wound, inside 14 minutes in a 14-14 football game. The Citrus Bowl 1996. Now Tennessee sends the power or strong side left. They run Kent as a man in motion from left to right. And this is Manning back, setting up a screen. Pass is pulled down by Kent. Makes the catch at the 37. Gets to the 40. Gets to the 44. And is shoved out of bounds as he moves close to the 45-yard line by Balisari. An unusual play, Bill Anderson, as they throw the ball. It appeared to me into a somewhat of a crowd, but basically it was a crowd of orange, although there's been some penetration from Ohio State. But Kent makes the catch, gets a key block, and moves forward for a gain of right at 6 yards.
Well, they tried to send, well, they did send Kent in motion and then bring him back over here. Everybody looked like from Ohio was following him because this play certainly didn't fool anybody.
Tennessee will have it second down, 4 yards to go, score tied at 14. Here's Kent, same play, coming in motion to the near side. Now Tennessee goes the opposite way with Jay Graham trying to get to the corner. He turns the corner with a stiff arm, but then cannot elude the second man, but was able to pick up maybe 2 yards as he just accelerates to the left side. Was chased, grabbed, and ridden down by Rob Kelly coming up from his strong safety position. The 5 of 12, including the touchdown a moment ago on the 32-yard pass to Dudley. Tennessee aligns itself with 2 tight ends. Running backs are split with Ford the fullback. This is Manning giving off to Graham, tries the corner, turns upfield, has the ball to the 50 and lunges forward to the 45-yard line, about to break it for more yardage, but holding on for dear life was Ty Howard, and so it will be a first down for Tennessee. Could have been more, Bill Anderson.
Thought it was going to be more there for a minute, John. He took it to the outside. He stepped right over one tackler and then into the arms of the other one.
So Tennessee will have the ball with 12:37 to go in the Citrus Bowl. First down and 10 to go, and spot the ball at the Ohio State 43-yard line on the right hash mark. Now Tennessee with two wide receivers left, one to the right side. Manning fakes the draw, looks across the middle, pass complete, pulled down by Kent. He breaks it at the 35-yard line, down to the 30, down to the 25, and is jarred down, and slow to get up will be Joey Kent, who took a lick from Anthony Gwynn, but the pass is complete. Kent is going to take himself out of the lineup, I think, limping over, hobbling to the near sideline, but Tennessee has picked up another first down on the pass play of 20 yards from Manning to Kent. And so Manning sets his team again as the replacement is on for Tennessee's Joey Kent, who now in the football game has caught 7 passes for 109 yards. Tennessee in the same set. Kyler is split wide to the near side. Manning looks it over. Fake pass downfield is pulled down at the 20. Sliding out of bounds was Marcus Nash, who moves inside the 20, lost his footing on this slick football field in the vicinity of the 16-yard line. Over there covering was Ryan Miller, the linebacker, and also helping out the cornerback on that side, Ty Howard. They will spot the ball far from where we are, Bill Anderson, and it will be right at 3 yards short of the first down.
Joey Kent looks like he might have hurt his wrist or his hand a little bit, John. He paid the price going in that middle. I tell you, Ohio's got a group in the secondary that will really hit.
Tennessee, second down and 3. They shift their defense into a 5-man front. Tennessee in the I formation. This is Graham trying the middle, and he turns as he comes popping up the middle, drives the ball inside the 15-yard line, dropped by Belisari in the vicinity of the 14. Whistles blurring, as you can hear in the background, as they will spot the ball. Tennessee needs to get the ball slightly inside the 14-yard line for the first. A third down upcoming, and a measurement will ensue. Is going to change the alignment, putting actually Graham as a left halfback. This is Manning sneaking. I think he got it, as he got right on the hip of big 304-pound Jeff Smith and rides him forward for what appears to be a yard to me, and it is first down, Big Orange.
A great position now. They got to drive. They can just keep it going. Big catch by Kent, John, and he paid the price a little bit going across that middle against Ohio State, but that was a big play.
Tennessee gets 2 wide receivers back into the lineup, and Dustin Moore, as a tight end, comes out. He, a freshman from Greenville, Tennessee, who has 9 catches and 1 touchdown this year. Now Tennessee will send 2 wide outs to the right side. Nash slots inside of Kyler. McCullough goes to the far side. Running back is Graham. This will be Manning, setting the screen pass, pulled down at the 10, fighting to the 8, scrambling to the 7, knocked out of bounds is Greg Kyler, close to the 5-yard line. They'll mark it at the 6. Winfield makes the tackle on him at the 6-yard line. About the 9-yard line, needing the 3 for the first. Second down, 6, Tennessee. Same set. Ohio State brings the safety up, feigning the blitz. Now he dances back, and Manning adjusts his alignment. There's movement all over the place, as Tennessee simply did not get the play untracked well, as there was some indecision, and so Tennessee's right side jumped, and I think a 5-yard penalty will be stepped up. 1 to the right. Kent has returned to the game for Tennessee. This is Manning rolling left, looking into the end zone. Pass downfield is incomplete, as it was intended for Marcus Nash. To the right side, outside Joey Kent. Quarterback is Peyton Manning. Running back is Graham. Ohio State dancing. Graham back to throw. Looking, waiting. Pass down into the end zone. Nobody there, as the intended receiver, who was in this case Marcus Nash, slips and falls at the goal line. So Price snapping Ingram. The score is tied at 14-14, as Jeff Hall, the freshman, will be in there to attempt the field goal. Ready for the snap. There it is. The kick by Hall is in the air. Did he make it? He made it. Tennessee 17, Ohio State 14.
This portion of
A touchdown is scored by the Volunteers in the third quarter to go up by a score of 14-7. And now Tennessee gets the field goal to make it 17-14. For Tennessee, Manning to this point is 20 of 31 for 183 yards. Hoying, 13 of 27 for 182 yards. Here's the kickoff by Hall coming downfield, relatively short. Is pulled down on a fair catch by Ohio State. I guess he made a fair catch. One of the up receivers. That Ohio State lines up with a single running back being George, the Heisman Trophy winner. Flankers left and right, tight end of the game. For Ohio State, two tight ends, as a matter of fact, as the give will go to George. Trying the near side, breaks it up the middle. This is George carrying the ball for 3, for 4, for 5, maybe 6 yards. The sole running back, flankers left and right, Ohio State with the ball. Rain resuming. This will be Hoying getting out to George, trying to get to the corner. He does, as he circles the right side and cuts upfield and moves the ball very, very close to a first down before State as head coach, and then to Ohio State. First down, Ohio State right at the 37-yard line. So the Buckeyes back to an I formation, sending a man in motion from right to left. Hoying, handoff goes to George, cuts up the middle and is banged down after ripping forward for 3, maybe 4 yards. Scott Gallion in there to make the tackle as Ohio State's offensive line of Pace, Sumner, Porter.
And now he's got second and about 5 in this series.
7:40 to go in the football game. Tennessee leads by 3. George, 24 carries, 104 yards. I formation again. Flankers left and right. Hoying gives off to George. He fumbles the football. There's a scramble for it. And we'll wait and see who has that ball. I can tell you who has that ball. The Big Orange has that football. It was recovered by Scott Gallion. As George was popped, the ball squirts up, and Gallion pops on top of it.
Real good defense. He popped him, John. That was a good hard hit. That ball sprung loose.
Give credit, I think, to Tyrone Hines on the tackle. Tennessee has the ball. 10-second station identification. This is the Ball Network.
The flagship stations of the Ball Network. 107.7 WIDK Knoxville and News Talk Radio 990.
Good hurt.
At the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, this is John Ward with Bill Anderson and your Vol Football Network staff sending you the play-by-play of a game which finds Tennessee leading 17-14. On the
And he's dragging it.
He's had injury problems, but Hines, I think it was, and of course I can't be absolutely sure, I think it was Hines who made the stick. Mike Keith standing beside me says, for a change, you're right. Tennessee will have the ball. First down, and spotted at the 39-yard line of the Buckeyes. The Volunteers back to throw is Manning looking across the middle. The man is there. The pass is dropped incomplete. Intended for Nash, who was in the open, but the ball just slithers off his fingertips and falls incomplete.
Right in there, wide open, in the crease inside there, John, and he should have caught that ball. He's had trouble today. Hold on to it.
So for Tennessee, it will be second down and 10. Back into the game comes Kent. Out will come Marcus Nash for the Volunteers. And so Tennessee, trying to strike quickly after that recovered fumble, had Nash, as Bill said, right in the open in the middle. But the ball goes incomplete. Second down 10, Tennessee leading 17-14. Here is Manning off play action, rolling to the near side, being pursued, throws the ball upfield. It is underthrown and incomplete. In for the Volunteers. 2 receivers, 2 to the right, including as a slot man, Benji Schuler on the near side. Manning, here comes the pressure. The handoff goes to Graham on a draw, gets to the outside, turns upfield, and then is drilled and dropped with little of any yardage. So Tennessee tries to confuse, or I should say surprise, Ohio State with the draw. They weren't surprised. They have 10 men to rush again. Binion waiting for the snap. High snap. He pulls it down, gets the punt away, hangs it high. Tennessee racing downfield, signaling for and making a fair catch as he falls on the ball at the 15-yard line. Then a penalty marker is dropped at that point. Tennessee might have gotten too close to the receiver making the catch, Stanley. He will have the ball. Tennessee leads 17-14, 6:29 to go. And the Buckeyes will put the ball in play right at the 20-yard line. Eddie George will be the tailback as the Buckeyes come to the line. Hoying will be at quarterback for Ohio State in the I formation. Tennessee, 4-down lineman to rush. Back to throw, Hoying looking across the middle. A pass is complete. Again, that's that tight end, Big Dudley, who makes the catch at the 35, moves to the 40, where he is tackled by Raymond Austin. First down, Ohio State, trailing 17-14. Again, Hoying back to throw, looking for George. Pass downfield is going to be incomplete. Intended this time for Terry Glenn, who was defended by strong safety Raymond Austin. Clock stopped with 6:04 to go. 2nd down and 10 upcoming for Ohio State. The difference has been Bill Anderson, the tight end. Ohio State 2nd down and 10, trailing 17-14. 6:04 to go in the game. Single running back is Glenn. Tennessee with 4-down linemen to rush. Back to throw, Hoying. Pass is pulled down on the far side as once again it's Dudley. It's the other tight end, Hauser this time, who makes the catch relatively short. Is immediately tackled from the backside by the linebacker Sanders and by Deron Jenkins. He gains not enough for the first down as we finally see he is shoved out of bounds, maybe a gain of 5.5 yards on the play. The tight end is on the left side to the wide side of the field. Man in motion coming from right to left. Back to throw, Hoying. Tennessee with pressure. Hoying steps up, is going to run with the football, and is sliding down short of the first down as he was pinned by Jesse Sanders. He was being flushed out of the pocket again and decided to run, slides to protect himself, but slides short of the first down. And it will be 4th down and right at 1 yard to go for Ohio State, trailing in the game by 17-14 with 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Ohio State has tried for first down on 4th 3 times now in the game because the Buckeyes will try for the first down on 4th right here. And before they do, they'll be asking for a timeout.
They're going to lose field position and give Tennessee another big opportunity. It's a big play for Ohio State. They had to call timeout, discuss it, and here it comes.
Tennessee in a 4-man front, linebackers tucked tight. Ohio State with Hoying. Quarterback, tailback is George. This will be Hoying on the pitch. It's banged around. It bangs off a fullback. It rolls loosely. It doesn't really matter who recovered that football because that play simply did not work. Why did they call a timeout to make the pitch into the helmet, Bill Anderson, of the fullback?
Boy, I don't know. I don't know what they were trying to fake it inside. I thought looked like, but they didn't. They had no fake inside at all. It was just a quick pitch to go to the outside. That play was not very well designed at all.
And not executed if indeed it had been well designed. Anyway, Torrey Noel recovered the fumble, so actually that's another turnover. But Tennessee has the football as the 4th down try fails. 2nd time in the game, Tennessee, Bill Anderson has stopped them on 4th.
Yeah, and that's the difference in the ball game, too, John, without question on that.
Tennessee will have the ball. 5:07, still lots and lots of time to go. And so Tennessee lines it up. Ohio State has 2 timeouts left.
Well,
this is Manning. Handoff, Graham. Starts right, cuts left. Scissors over the left side of the line. Romps and rolls and bangs and fights down inside the 40-yard line to the 39. Tennessee needing the 37 for the first. As the recovery was made moments ago by Noel of the misfired pitch by Hoying, which ricochets off the helmet of Sualua. The pitch was intended, I would assume, for George. It never got to him. Tennessee picks up right at 8 yards, and it will be 2nd down and 2. Clock down to 4 minutes and 30. Tennessee 17, Ohio State 14. Citrus Bowl 1996. Tennessee in the I formation. Play clock down to 7. This is Graham. Trying to the right side is nailed and did not pick up any yardage at all on the play. Had a punt blocked as well. Now Tennessee faced with a key possession 3rd down play. Man in motion, Kent from right to left. Manning rolls out that way. Pass for Kent is overthrown, incomplete. He was open. The pass just overled him. And so Tennessee, after stopping Ohio State on a 4th down try, unable to get a first down on its own.
Catch it.
Ohio State has blocked 1 punt. Snap, punt, barely away. High, wobbly spiral, asking for, sliding, and making a fair catch, Ohio State, inside the 20-yard line of the Buckeyes. 3:27 to go in the football game. The punt is good for 23 yards. 3:27. Ohio State with the ball. Big play capability at every position. Hoying, the quarterback, splits the running backs. Back to throw. Here's the pass across the middle, pulled down by Eddie George, who makes the catch at the 25-yard line and moves it forward just beyond there, where Jesse Sanders and Scott Gallion team up on the tackle. Again. Running back split, Hoying. Waiting. Pass across the middle, incomplete, short, underthrown. Pressure from Tennessee. As Tillman was the intended receiver, Tennessee got a little pressure on him that time.
Yeah, he did not make a good throw. He didn't have the man open. I think he just threw it before he wanted to, and it threw it into the ground.
3rd down and 3. Clock stopped with 2:47 to go. Tennessee leading 17-14. The Citrus Bowl kicking off football for these two schools for 1996, but really what it's doing is winding down successful 1995 campaigns. Hoying splits the running backs again. Pearson and George. Flankers left and right. Tight end to the right side. Hoying looking. Here's the pass. Intercepted. Dropped. Incomplete. He had it twice. He being Raymond Austin, who had the ball twice. Phil Anderson simply could not retain possession.
Boy, he had it. He did a great job of reading the play and breaking on the ball. He did everything perfectly except hold on to it.
And so with 2:43 to go, this game, Bill, has had everything.
It has. It's been a good football game, guys.
It's 4th down, Ohio State. The pass thrown and perfect break by Austin. He had it clearly. He juggled it. He reached. He had it again. And then he juggled and lost it. Incomplete. 4th down, 3. Tennessee leading 17-14. Hoying for Ohio State. Where's the tight end? On the near side. Back to throw Hoying. Where's the tight end? Here's Hoying running out of there. He's in deep trouble. He throws the ball across the way on a lateral. I think that may be an eligible receiver making the reception. As Tennessee came, their flags all over the place. With 2 minutes, 33 seconds to go, Steve White and Ron Green converged to put the pressure on him. Out of desperation, he coughed it up. Somebody caught it, but shouldn't have.
But linebacker took the tight end, John. That's who they were trying to go to. The Tennessee played at that time. They were trying to hit the tight end on a turn in or a curl in. The linebacker was in his space. He couldn't get the ball to him as a result of big play.
Tennessee's players are dancing and running to the near side. Ineligible receiver. The penalty will tack on. Well, it was a loss of down, which, well, it does matter, because had it not been, Ohio State would have another shot at it. As it is, there will be a penalty, and Tennessee will have excellent field position as well, with 2:33 to go in the Citrus Bowl game. Tennessee number 4, Ohio State number 4, and now both will be watching the games, of course, the Rose Bowl, where number 3 Northwestern is playing, and then tomorrow night, the Fiesta Bowl, which has Nebraska and Florida, number 1 and 2, respectively, playing for the national championship. 2:33 to go. Ohio State with 2 timeouts left. The Volunteers will have the ball at the Buckeye 15-yard line. 1st down and 10. Lining up in the I formation, Graham is the tailback. Manning sizes up the defense. Long count. Manning looking, throwing the ball down into the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Kent. As Tennessee goes deep, trying to strike on 1st down, and Kent on the angle simply couldn't get to the ball. It's incomplete. Look left, Ward. 2nd down for Tennessee. The Volunteers lead 17-14. Running backs are split this time. Tennessee handoff Graham, trying to get to the near corner. Nothing there. He's stumped for a loss back at the 20. 3rd down and 13.5 yards to go. Kent wide to the right. Tight end wide to the left in a split position. This is Manning, handing the ball off to Graham. Graham up the middle, turning, spinning, driving, fighting. This is Graham at the 15, down to the 11, down to the 10. He's knocked down as he gets to about the 10-yard line. And we'll wait till they spot the ball. It will be 4th down upcoming for Tennessee. The Volunteers lead 17-14. 2:09 to go. Did they start the clock? I'm not sure they did. And Tennessee is looking and pointing as to the near sideline comes Manning. As I think perhaps, and it will be Tennessee probably going for the field goal, as Ohio State will have no timeouts left, and that, Bill, might mean prevent defense, which you love.
Let's hope not.
Ohio State defending. Keep in mind that the Buckeyes already have blocked a punt. During the year, they blocked 2 field goal or extra point tries. Holding will be Price. Snapping will be Ingram. Attempting the field goal will be Jeff Hall. There's the kick by Hall. He gets it away. Downfield it goes, and the kick is good. Tennessee leads by a score of 20-14 with 2:06 left to go in this Citrus Bowl game. And now the Volunteers will kick off. And that means Ohio State will have the ball. A touchdown and an extra point would mean a victory for Ohio State. Bill Anderson?
I don't like to think about that, John. But it's certainly, they're not out of this ballgame. There's no question about that. 2 minutes is a long time.
And Ohio State, of course, has the Heisman Trophy winner, Eddie George, an All-American receiver in Glenn. But overall, Tennessee, despite the fact that George has been able to pick up over 100 yards in the football game, has played good defense.
No question. They've held him very much intact. You can give him 100 yards or so, but there haven't been yardage that hurt him at any time particularly. You know, they've held him well intact, and they've need another series of it here.
20-14 to score. Tennessee leading Ohio State in the Citrus Bowl. And it will be Hall to kick off. And deep goes Pearson now, along with Stanley. A dual safety for the Buckeyes, and Tennessee will be kicking into what has developed into a rather stout breeze. It will be Jeff Hall to kick. What will he do? He kicks it downfield, high, relatively long, at the 15-yard line, pulled down by Ohio State. Out to the 20, to the 25, and he is smashed. There's a scramble for what I think was a fumble of the football, and as they unscramble the players, it will be Ohio State recovering the bobble as Craig King lowered the boom on the tackle.
Well, there's been some real hits in this ball game. Both these teams who haven't been messing around, John, they came to play. We've seen some of the hardest licks today, several of them that we've seen all year.
So here it is, Ohio State with 1:57 to go in the football game, trailing by 6 with no timeouts left. And it will be the Buckeyes. Bobby Hoying at quarterback to this point, 16 of 33 for 215 yards, 1 interception, 1 touchdown. Key receiver thus far has been Dudley, the tight end, 5 receptions, 105 yards. Ball on the left hash mark, 1:57 to go. Ohio State first down and 10. Tennessee 4 down linemen to rush. Hoying back to throw. Hoying across the middle, pass incomplete. Right in the hands of Eddie George. He didn't hold on to the ball. Stops the clock, though, with 1:53 to go in the football. He was smacked by Scott Gallion.
Waited too long there. The defensive back was reading that all the way. He was trying to go to him, and good coverage in the secondary.
And so it will be 3rd down and 10, 1:47 to go in the football game, as Ohio State has the ball at its own 31-yard line. 3rd down and 10, trailing by a score of 20-14. Tennessee opens its 1996 season August 31st. Neyland Stadium expanded to 101,000 plus. UNLV, Las Vegas, comes to town. Enough about that. Back to this. 3rd down 10. Hoying. Back. Looking. Waiting. Pass downfield is complete. Yanked down at the 41-yard line by Terry Glenn in the grasp of Deron Jenkins. Great catch by Glenn. Knocked down immediately, but on 3rd down and long, he makes the catch under pressure.
Hey, keep the drive alive with a big play over there to Glenn. When you really need it, I guess you go to your key man, and he's been that for them. He made a great catch in there, and Ohio's still got their drive alive.
1:38, and the clock is counting. Ohio State without a huddle, of course, lining it up. 1st down and 10 at its 43-yard line. Hoying with a long drop. Going to dump it out into the near side. Pulled down by Eddie George. George breaks 1 tackle, not a second. He is snowed under and dropped as he moves it out to the 46 or 7-yard line. Terry Fair, the first man there for Tennessee with help. So Ohio State sees the clock counting down inside 1:15. It will be second down right at 6 yards to go for the Buckeyes. Ball in the near hash mark with Tennessee leading 20-14. And here the Buckeyes come to the line. Second down, back to throw. This will be Hoying. Pass downfield is complete. Yanked down, then fumbled. There's a scramble for a loose ball. It was ruled complete. Fumble recovered by Tennessee. The Volunteers pounce on the ball as the pass was completed to Demetrius Stanley. He was blasted. Craig King. Then the recovery by King after the hit gives Tennessee the ball, and with 57 ticks to go, no timeouts left for Ohio State. The Tennessee fans, and Bill, we're seated, as you can see, right in among quite a few of them, begin to cheer with confidence.
Well, turnover's been a big factor in the ball game, John. Ohio State's had, 4, I think. The Tennessee's only had 1, and there's been some big hits, knocked that ball loose.
The pass was complete, and he was blasted. The ball pounced free, and Tennessee was pouncing on it. Manning up under the center. Tennessee into its prevent offense. Goes to one knee. The clock is at 54 and counting. And Tennessee fans are standing and cheering, sensing a victory to kick off 1996. The Volunteers leading by a score of 20-14. The clock is counting, and Tennessee has the football. A recovery by Noel, by Gallion, by King moments ago. An interception by Austin. The fans one knee. The clock is at 54 and counting. And Tennessee fans are standing and cheering, sensing a victory to kick off 1996. The Volunteers leading by a score of 20-14. The clock is counting, and Tennessee has the football. A recovery by Noel, by Gallion, by King moments ago. An interception by Austin. The fans alive. And, of course, we'll have post-game comments from players and the coaching staff down in the Tennessee locker room. Tennessee, again, into its prevent offense. 22 seconds. Manning to a knee. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be for Tennessee a Citrus Bowl victory over the Buckeyes of Ohio State. As the Volunteer fans are here, they came in the rain, they sat through the downpour, they watched their team come from behind, they saw a first half scamper by Tennessee's Jay Graham, a touchdown pass by Manning, a field goal by Hall. Tennessee had it all, and the Volunteers win this football game by a score of 20-14.
Football's first game has resembled free-for-alls with a lot